And welcome to Indie-Pendent. I'm Brandon, and this is your co-host, Zach.
What's going on? I'm joined by my friend, Brandon.
Yeah, it's true.
That got really harsh really quick.
It did. It got really intense.
And I figured you deserve a better introduction.
We crossed some sort of weird line.
I crossed a lot of lines today.
I'm okay with that.
And this weekend.
Well, you are wearing a hat with a bullet hole right in the middle of the face.
Oh, God.
It is nice. It's a nice hat.
It is good. It's nice. It's nice.
I like it. It fits you very well.
I want to fit you really well.
Can I wear you like a hat?
It probably gets really odd every time I probably say something like that. I'm okay with it, though.
Not for me. It's not odd for me. It might be odd for everybody else. So, that's on them, if anything, not really on us. What have you been up to, Zach?
A lot of For Honor.
A lot of For Honor.
I've been playing a lot of For Honor.
Yeah.
I've finally come to the conclusion that the Berserker class is my spirit animal in every regard.
I'm all about the what is it? The Orochi or whatever, the really fast samurai.
I made all of you my bitch.
That's because I wasn't on playing. So
You didn't even know how to download it.
It's fair.
Yep.
I had a billion other things going on. I was playing indie games, Zach. Yeah.
Still the same one?
What's up? Actually, no. I finally popped in Stanley Parable.
How is that?
Actually, really good. So we'll talk about that. We have some news to talk about us first. I know last time I wasn't here. Josh held it down for me.
You did really well.
And you guys got super excited for Code Hardcore.
Yes.
Correct. Drop some knowledge on me. What's Code Hardcore about?
I don't know if I can pull it up on my screen or not, so I'm not.
You can. You just got to hit the home button.
That's it?
Yeah.
Hit the home button?
Not
okay.
yet.
I thought we were good. Hold on. We're going to find out if we can do this. Director's going to give us the green light. Oh, cool. Can I hit home?
Can I hit
anything?
Can
I hit the...
You don't need to anymore.
Don't hit the button.
Just hit play.
Just hit play? Okay, yeah. I'll hit play.
You're good.
So yeah, we lost our shit when Josh introduced this game. It's cool right there, I guess. Yeah, we'll just turn this upside down.
There we go. That'll work.
Hey, Razor, if you could make another one that works for like the other side of my hand, that'd be great. You just get right on that. Peter will order it because it's more useful than this one right now. Yeah, so Code Hardcore was a game solely made by devs that are like obsessed with mecha games. Mecha anything, it obviously shows in the art illustration, the gameplay, fast, furious, hardcore moving mechs, no pun intended. When we talked about this game just last Sunday, it was only at like a few $1,000s.
Well, like
it has hit
$3,000 or something.
Yeah,
I pulled it up.
It was really small. This has hit 80,000 within a week. So that's why we're coming back and talking about it, because it is awesome. And the best thing of all is not only is it going to come out on PC.
Oh, did it hit its PlayStation goal?
It also hit it hit a lot of goals actually.
Yeah.
So it hit its art book goal of 70,000. It hit its PS4 version goal of $77,777.
Yes.
I don't know what the point of that is, but it's all right. We hit 2 new maps and 2 new mechas as well. So this game is blowing the hell up.
That's super awesome.
And it obviously deserves it. And then I know we didn't talk about it too, but yes, this game is confirmed that it does have a single-player story on it.
Oh, very cool. Because I know it shows a lot of the multiplayer.
Player versus player. These cinematic cutscenes and everything are actually derived from the story, is what I was figuring out. I did some digging after the show. So, yeah, cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. I'm still looking at pledging. I just can't figure out which one I want to go for yet.
It's got like 38 days still on it, right? Like over a month.
Yeah, but you know how like certain pledge goals only a lot, like, oh, there can only be 10 of these people that pledge. There can only be... I'm obviously not doing the $10,000 one.
What?
But it's tempting.
You're not like...
You become like a character, a
you
boss,
obviously don't love the
mech,
game
can,
then.
Oh, yeah, you can
if you're not pledging
$10,000. I want one that comes with the figures, like the 1-to-1 scale, like actual like miniature figures.
That one's only like $100, right?
Yeah.
I think so, if I remember correctly.
I might.
Yeah.
That might be my thing.
Honestly, I'm really weird about buying collector's editions for like new IPs and stuff like that. But when it comes to indie games, I'd support it, because that money's going to go straight to those people. It's going to be worth it. You're going to get... You're definitely going to get your bang for your buck. Yeah, that's the way I would look at it. It's definitely going to be worth it. So
thank God.
A few other games that we've talked about as well on Indie-Pendent here have also reached their goal. So the one that I talked about last time was Close Your Blink One or Life One Blink at a Time. That is the game that we talked about, I think, 2 or 3 shows ago, where it actually uses your webcam, and every time you blink, you jump forward in your story.
Yeah.
So the jumps can be anywhere from 5 minutes to supposedly 5 years. They hit their goal on September 2nd, so I would have talked about it last podcast, but obviously I was not here. Thanks for holding it down, Josh. You're a beautiful man. But they hit it September 2nd, fully funded. They got 175% funded, so they were super solid. They hit a bunch of their stretch goals as well, which is really nice. Super basic graphics to this game. Nothing that's going to blow you away. Nothing that's going to break your brain graphically. It honestly looks a lot like Minecraft. But definitely a cool concept using that webcam. So obviously PC only game because it needs to use your webcam. But I don't know. I'm super excited for it. I think it's going to be a fantastic game and definitely worth checking out. One that we haven't talked about yet, but I am very excited for, is this game called Glitched. If you haven't heard of Glitched, you guys, it's definitely worth going to check out. It cannot be funded anymore because it has been fully funded. Over 3,000 backers, $68,000 raised for it. It is a RPG where throughout the game, the character will slowly realize that you're there and break the fourth wall. The more he notices you're there, the more control you have over the game, the more powers your character gains. So my guess is as he notices that you're there, he starts using you to do things in the game. Like, oh, you're there. You should move this block for me. And then maybe you get the ability, you get strength in Pokemon. So then you get the ability to move blocks. So
seems interesting.
Yeah, it starts out very basic. Graphics are, just classic kind of 8-bit style. It looks nice. Nothing that's going to blow your brain out, though, either. But I think just kind of that breaking the fourth wall idea of it is really cool. And then it uses a lot of glitches and stuff like that in the game as well, which is obviously why it's called Glitched. So I think as he breaks the fourth wall, you become the glitches. Yeah, so that game's also been funded. Blah, blah, blah. So definitely one to look out for. Got a classic Mario map like that. Each of the little Mario maps take you to a city, town, level, anything like that, which you then play through. As you can see there, the game will run through some basic glitches. There is going to be boss fights. Boss fights will happen in different ways, but basically different creatures will come up. You'll choose your different attacks. You'll go through them and try and survive your way through Glitched. So it definitely looks awesome. I'm excited for it.
Oh, it looks pretty interesting.
Yep. Definitely looks, once again, just a little different.
Reminds me of Earthbound.
Yeah, I can see that.
Actually. I
could see that.
And what else you got?
That's it for games that have been funded that we've been talking about. So that's kind of, that's cool though. Obviously some games that we've been on the lookout, some games that we've been super excited for have gotten the funding, have made it through, which means we're picking out good games.
One would hope.
Yeah, I think so.
Doesn't usually always mean that, though.
It doesn't.
Sometimes some things will come through Kickstarter that are just absolute trash, and I will end up buying a lot of it.
You do that.
I do that, and I'm okay with it.
And then you love them still.
I still play it, so I have no issue with it.
That's cool. Besides Destiny, though, have you been playing anything else?
A lot of Destiny, a lot of For Honor.
Still getting
For Honor's done,
yep.
So now it's just back on the Destiny train.
Yep.
Everybody's going to finally see me become an Iron Lord this week.
Very nice.
So I'm excited. We'll be streaming a lot of Destiny this entire week.
How do you like the new setup? The studio's changed. It's altered. I don't know if anybody in the stream can notice, but the studio has moved around.
It's good. I keep looking at this because I'm literally waiting for something to just drop down from the ceiling because there's so much ceiling space. I'm waiting for something to come down.
Like a disco ball?
Like a disco ball. It's just a perfect cutoff of the top of the monitor. I'm I wait for somebody to come down and just start taking us for a ride.
Now I want a disco ball here. I don't know why we don't have one. I'm a little upset. There you go. Look at Peter coming through, boom, fixing things.
Just flat.
Just boom.
Wonderful.
Man, I don't know what y'all are doing here. But we've got some sweet stuff on the wall. We got our Master Sword behind me. We've got our Keyblade behind Zach.
Which Keyblade's that?
What's the...
Man, this is great. I love doing it. Putting you on the spot to answer shit is the highlight of my day.
I can never think of the actual name. It's the Oblivion
there you go.
Sword.
Yep. That's it. Oblivion Keyblade.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's a sword.
I thought there was a different... I thought it was Oblivion something.
Nope.
It's just Oblivion Keyblade? All right, sweet. Mm-hmm. But it's sweet, though, isn't it? Mm-hmm. $20.
Best time ever to go to your community fair is
when they're selling sweet games.
When they're selling Keyblades for $20 a pop.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, that translating to gummy is ridiculous, and Zenny just stupid.
Yep.
Just too much.
It's an absurd amount.
That's an absurd amount. The U.S. dollar bill, everybody, has a lot of weight behind itself when it trades. Yep. So here's the other thing, right? Before we start getting into news, there's a few topics, right? So I've been watching, if nobody's familiar, I watch a lot of Kind of Funny, probably too much. Did you notice they're starting to do like an indie thing as well?
Oh, so they like copied us. They were like, look what these guys are doing. We got to get on that train.
So Greg Miller, he likes Oceanhorn quite a bit. Jeremy posted that actually on our Fat Gaming community page, and the game looks really good. I still want to pick that one up.
Yep.
And then Tim Geddes was saying like, it's a little bit more slower pace and like the action behind Zelda, but regardless, it's like a good core fundamental like old school Zelda game, just prettied up on the 3D graphics part. So that's pretty sick. Oceanhorn's probably definitely one to take out. I just wanted to kind of bring that up since we talk about it in the community. Sometimes it doesn't always come to light on the live stream. So Jeremy, thank you for sharing that. That was awesome.
And on top of that, I know obviously I just said they're copying us, but the Kind of Funny guys are fantastic.
They are.
And more importantly than anything, anybody, I don't care who it is, if it's a big name, a smaller name, anything like that, anybody who supports indie games, I support them. Like that's just really cool to me that bigger names.
What if terrorists go out and start buying indie games?
I might support them. I wouldn't support him with my money.
Problem.
I wouldn't support him with my money.
Well, I didn't say you'd have to give to like. They're right. It's getting dark.
It's getting
real quick.
It's a
real quick. I just like
really
putting your
dark
foot in your own
podcast.
mouth sometimes. It's the best thing in my life.
It's a really dark podcast.
So yeah, that's cool. I like the fact that if bigger names are also starting to talk about indie games, hopefully that spreads the wealth a little bit away from some of the AAA titles that are still going on that nobody really understands why. And the story is just getting so diluted at this point. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Man, the most diluted story out there, man, that Watch Dogs game. I don't know why they keep cranking those out.
I was like, that's not diluted at all. It's still the same story. You're just playing it from another angle.
Yeah. It was really just
I was talking more about like...
It's really just to poke you a little bit. Poke the bear.
Pokemon.
Just wanted to poke the bear.
I'm kidding. It's that same story just over and over, but it sells. I don't care. Repeat it over and over. Put me on a different piece of land. I don't care.
What, Pokemon?
Pokemon. I'll keep doing it.
No, I get it. And I keep buying it.
Do you think anybody will ever beat Pokemon?
What do you mean by
like
beat
the same kind of concept? Like Yokai Watch or whatever tried.
If anyone's going to do it, it's Ni no Kuni. I feel like Ni no Kuni had the potential, but what Pokemon has done better than any other
is make sure one guy doesn't buy all the collector's editions.
Well, yeah, that obviously helped, but better not just than Ni no Kuni, but better than any other like JRPG, any other RPG, any other game of that same style was immerse you in the universe. So when Pokemon came out, you had the Pokemon game, you had the Pokemon TV show, you had the Pokemon cards, you had Pokemon collectibles, you had
everything that like could kind of like help you stay around it and helped you stay in it was there. The good marketing. Yeah, because I think I would have liked like a Ni no Kuni like movie from them, from Studio Ghibli, or even like a just I don't know, like a short like 12 episode 1 season. Yeah, like show up maybe not necessarily about the game, but those same characters after the game's done and like partakes like between this game and the next one to kind of fill it. I would have liked that. I like when games go outside of their norm and use like a filler, like Final Fantasy 15's doing it. Yeah, no, exactly. So. And that just helps you immerse it because obviously we can't play games 24/7. I wish we could, but we can't. Trust me, I wish. We
have to do other things. But when I can leave my gaming console behind and I can pick up some Pokemon cards, that's really cool. Or while you're playing your Pokemon game, you're watching your Pokemon TV show and then watching the movie when it comes out. It just helps immerse you so much in that universe. You care so much about every little character, every little person. And as you grow up, you're invested in those people, so you keep buying. And nobody else has really like jumped in on that as well. I think that's why Yokai Watch did actually so well in Japan, is because it actually is a TV show in Japan. There is collectibles, there is toys, there's something
else to digest if you really like it, not just the same game over and over.
Yep. And while some of that stuff has made it here to America, I believe the Yokai Watch show is on Netflix now, so you can actually go watch the Yokai Watch if you really enjoyed the game.
Subtitles?
I think it's English.
Is it?
I think it got English dub.
Good stuff.
I'm not 100% sure, so like don't quote me on that, but I think so.
Cool.
But the problem is it came out so much later. You know, by the time the game was already dead, then the toys hit. Once the people stopped caring about the toys, then the show came out. It never immersed you in all of them together.
Makes sense.
To keep you going. So I feel like that's where Pokemon's always done it better.
Pokemon does a lot of things better.
It's true.
It's okay though. News has been really slow. this week.
It has. It's because
we were talking about it.
Yeah. So TGS obviously happened. That's
Tokyo Game Show for all you nubs out there.
That's where all the big gaming news happened. And while there was probably a lot of indie news at Tokyo Game Show,
those indies will probably never see the light of day over here.
Yeah, exactly. We'll never experience them. They're going to be obviously focused towards the Japanese audience, everything like that. So we'll probably just never get access to them, which sucks. I'm sure they're going to be fantastic.
Sometimes I think to myself, like, the games over there, it's the promised land.
Yeah.
So, like, even indie games over there, like, rival that of a AAA studio, but just with 12 people.
Yep.
And it's not a No Man's Sky. It's like an actual, like, in-depth, crazy, over-the-top, over-the-moon kind of game.
Yeah.
And I'll never see it.
You'll never even hear about it. It's sad.
Even the ones that are English scripted.
Yeah.
That don't even come over here.
It's terrible.
It is. It's disgusting. There was one piece of news I thought was kind of interesting. Kind of like the indie thing, but this is kind of changing the world a little bit. I guess the button doesn't
It didn't work.
Oh, so I need to like tell Peter, hey, there you go.
It didn't work. Okay.
So UC Irvine is the first public university to open an esports video game area. Look how sick that looks.
I think that says arena.
Esports video game arena?
You said area.
Whatever, I don't care. It's still an area. Look at it. It's an area of space taken up with nothing but like looks like monster PCs. You see that? That's GTX something. I don't know what that is.
Thing's a beast for sure.
That is cool. So this is actually really cool too. So this is actually funded by the school. They actually worked into their finance.
You said UCI, so
California Irvine.
Perfect.
Yep. So the University of California Irvine will soon open its doors to an esports arena, making it the first at public university beginning September 22nd or 23rd. Sorry, I can't read. The state-of-the-art space will host competitive video game teams and give communities access to high-end computers and consoles. The new arena was built with feedback from students. Mark Depp, UC Irvine's acting director of esports.
That's cool.
Right? Like you're direct, like, oh, I would like to submit my application and resume for the director of esports at your college.
Okay, what kind of background do you have to have?
I could say
is it like
things, but probably
here is the last 50 games I beat?
I was actually the top reigning champion of Guitar Hero 5
That's right.
tournament. I won $1 million.
It's like you want to put on Through the Fire and Flames, expert, I'll play it blindfolded.
Done deal. The funny thing is, too, is like these places have like their own chairs made, everything else. It's not just like computers and a table and like in some backwater coffee lounge. It's like actually sophisticated.
Well,
all of it matches, all of it's uniform.
Huge monitors. Those are really nice monitors. You're probably looking at what, like 27, 30-inch monitors there? What do you think?
24.
24?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty nice sized monitors. Obviously, beast PCs. They obviously all have some gaming headsets. Really nice cozy chairs. So they're really going out and showing these people like what esports can do for you. You know,
Correct.
It's not just
and the kind of games that they have on there says we decided to load all the best games that people enjoy. So they have Counter-Strike, Overwatch, Heroes of the Storm. So the big esports ones obviously are on there.
Yeah.
And then you got other things on here too, which is really cool. Construction of the space was built with financial support and consultant from Riot Games.
Oh, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
They've actually been supporting a lot lately of smaller things.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the grand scope of it too. It's actually really cool. So the company behind League of Legends, the game that is also at UV Irvine's first recognized esports team with scholarships. That's crazy, right?
Yep.
Yeah. A coaching staff and analysts. The arena is large enough for 2 teams of 5 players each, while having a small crowd that watches. Overall, this thing is super cool. The public can even pay $4 an hour to use the computers. So there's a return on the investment there for the college.
Pretty cheap as far as like if you look at like cyber cafes and shit like that, $4 an hour.
Because you're already paying for the student. Like you're going to school there. You're giving them a lot of money anyways. But this is kind of cool too because this will kind of start like pulling people out of the water a little bit. Like imagine like, hey, like this is what I do on the weekends. I go play League of Legends for like hours on end, and then you bring along your buddy that's maybe also a student there, maybe also on a student visa, and is only there for that reason. They're away from home. So you have to realize too, California's education-wise is like one of the biggest places that people come to attend our universities that are from overseas. So Japan, China, anywhere that's really over in that general direction, immediately come over to here. And they usually stay in California.
Like right there.
California has a lot of cool laws for international people. Even like getting car insurance and stuff like that is a lot easier for people that are international that have never been stateside. So that's why I think California starting the trend is great. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for every avenue. I think the next state we'll see do it is probably Oregon and Washington, since they're up on the same coast. But this is cool. I like the fact that people are engaging esports. There's backing scholarships for that stuff now. So it's not only an investment of like a hobby or time. It can actually be competitive. It can actually reward you for doing that kind of stuff. So it's very cool, very invigorating to see that kind of thing.
I mean, it makes sense too. It's a smart investment as well because esports it spiked a little bit a few years back, and then it kind of saw a decline. And the decline was because nobody was investing in it. Nobody, there was a huge spike because a lot of these gamers came out of nowhere. There was big prize pools. Everyone heard about it. So we got a big spike. And then there was no return investment. People were just going there, and then it was dead. There was nowhere to go. They were plateauing. Mm-hmm. It dropped down, and I think a lot of these bigger companies, colleges, stuff like that, are actually realizing, like, okay, if we'd invested in this could have been a growing market. This could be an emerging market that's actually worth something to us. So now we're seeing a lot of these people actually care about it, invest in it. ESPN is actually streaming esports now.
It's so weird.
Colleges are giving
for ESPN
scholarships for it. So the idea is, like, obviously they give scholarships for people playing sports because those sports bring in people to the school. People obviously are paying attention to the school. It brings in currency for the school because they're making money. They can sell tickets to different things. They can get teams, different things like that. You get people into the arena, start doing stuff like that. So if you start training teams, and instead of this team having a logo of some no-name company on them, who sponsors everything like that, these schools are like, well, we already have the money. We already have the area for it. We already have the computers. All we have to do is put these people in, throw our school's name
to it
on them, let them do what they were going to do anyways, play games, but give them a way to do it, and then advertise it for our school, bring people into our school. It's brilliant.
Yeah, because they're the only school, I believe, on this coast that has it done. It is up and running. You can go there right now and visit the place, and it's over and done with.
You know what? Fat Island Gaming will sponsor an esports team in the idea that we'll give you shirts, and that's it. I think that's fair. You have to become
a Patreon member.
You have to do everything
$15 or more, and we'll sponsor the rest.
All you have to do is wear our shirts to every gaming event and not suck. You could even suck.
Even then, you could suck.
You could even suck. It's cool.
I'll give it to you as like a towel, like for your hands, because you're just getting sweaty.
Yeah.
But every time we give it to you, you gotta like hold it up and berate it for a second, and then crumple it up into your hands to show that sweat's getting removed.
There you go.
So, do you remember the movie that Rocket Jump did? Freddie Wong and a few others. They did Video Game High School. Legitimately coming to life. Like that's all I think about. Can you imagine schools attending? Like other schools that finally actually start opening this stuff up. Now there's like internal school conflict. And then those schools obviously go off to regional. Then those regionals goes off to international. So literally universities and schools now can actually participate and do this. And the funny thing is too, is once it finally becomes a grand scope of college, high schools will probably adapt it.
Yeah, because
then they'll do that whole high school versus like college stuff because they could do that here and athletically, unlike college sports and stuff, they wouldn't have to worry about it.
You can't because obviously a high school kid might not be physically
capable
of doing what a
college grown-ass man can do.
And if they get hurt, injured, anything like that, that's a much bigger deal.
But if you have Einstein Jr. that's only a freshman in high school whooping up on the junior varsity team in college, like
10 years, you guys, high school, there will be an elective esports. Man. Esports elective.
I'm going to lose my shit because now business will have to change to like international business lessons on like an e-commerce background solely based around esports. And oh my God, I can't. Like, this is such a ripple effect and like catching this article. And here's the thing too. I think this article has been read like a jack shit amount of time. Yeah, here we go. So 67 Facebook shares.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
So this just goes to show.
When was it posted? How long ago? Was it like 10 minutes?
I think this is like 2 days ago. Man.
Oh, so it's been
the
up
15th, so 3 days ago.
So yeah, it's been up for a fair amount of time. Enough time where people should be talking about this. It should be a bigger deal than it is. But then a lot of people might not look at it the same as us. A lot of people, honestly, it might even upset some people. Even some gamers might go, you know what, I went to school. Like, esports is not something you should get a scholarship for. It's not something you should be removing yourself from school.
But then that becomes like a bearded banner conversation because we'll have some idiot in here that only has an IQ of like 78 and then they'll be like, oh, well, you know, football, you actually put your body on the line. Trust me, I'm going to whip out a 24-pack of Pepsi in 2 days playing Destiny. You better believe my liver's going to have some hard time trying to keep up with all that regenerative ability it's got.
And when it comes to it, like the whole point of college and stuff like that is to prepare you for your future. And regardless of what that is, if it's playing sports like football, it's preparing you to become a professional in what you're doing. If it's going to college to become a doctor, you know, you're going there to learn the skills that you need to go into the real world.
But then if you get injured as an athlete, though,
you don't. The school.
What do you got? Like, you're done.
Nothing.
That's it. What were you going to school for?
To be an athlete.
Good shit. So these guys are going for a video game thing. This can branch out in so much. Creator, director, writer. There's a lot of stuff that the scope of a video game person can play as versus somebody that's solely focused on being an athlete.
Yeah.
Because even if they're successful in their career, they get injured. Making it afterwards means like selling yourself for like advertisements on commercials, or maybe being part of like the Wheaties, like on front of the box shit, like just more advertisements.
Imagine that. 15 years from now,
I guarantee
on top of Wheaties is like some dude holding a controller like, I eat Wheaties before I go play my esports.
And he's got like Razer mouse and keyboard,
Yeah.
and then like he's just like wailing. Oh man, I can see it. I can see
why not?
The entire generation changing. And the reason we bring this up on independent is because it is exactly that. It is independent.
People being independent.
This is the first college to do it.
Yep.
They're the first ones to back it. Riot Games was obviously okay with it. And that's good. And that's such good marketing, advertising right there. That's so stupid. Like, people now, when they look at colleges in California, if they like to play video games and they see somebody backs their hobby more than like having to pay all the money into like a college football team,
Yep.
that's where they're going to go.
So Bog the Smelly on our chat, he's already disagreeing with us.
I can't even see chat.
He's already saying, nah, high school kids need to stay focused on academics. Too many retards running around.
Sorry, they can always get their GED and they're still out there anyways. Nothing
It's
prevents
true.
them from that.
Yeah, you could literally drop out of high school and they're still going to be running around doing whatever they're going to do. They don't even need to get their GED. They could literally drop out of high school.
We could sit here and figure out what side of a party we want to be on when we're talking about tea parties and other things, but we know the education period standard in America is not that great compared to how other countries put it like as like the first priority.
Yep.
I wish we were one of them, but we're
A
not.
lot of that is, though, because those other countries and stuff like that, it's not so focused on just grinding out normal work like what it is here. Like, you have to go home and do homework. You have to go to school for 40 hours a week. You know, it's not
even
all
high
that.
school people, even their high school students are said like, give yourself this much time to study after you do the work. They treat it like college almost.
Yeah.
And then that's why when people over here go from high school to college, like, it's a big difference. Like,
A lot
even
of
though
other
right
countries
now,
use trade schools as well.
Yeah.
Like, you go for what you want to focus on. If you know when you're in high school that you don't want to be
a
history
doctor,
buff,
obviously, or a history buff, like, they just siphon you into your actual interest because that's what motivates you.
And that's
they
what
don't
you're going to be
run you through
focused
the
on.
ringer. Yeah, exactly.
You're not just there to be there.
You're there to actually
To
make
learn.
something of yourself.
Yep.
So the American way is, obviously, if you want it, you'll find a way to work for it.
Yeah.
So, and that's fine. So be it. So I'm glad that took a big chunk of change considering how much news has like been super non-existent.
Yeah, and that was good. That was really passionate. I think that'll stem. I think we'll be talking about that a lot in the future. Maybe not in the next like week or so. This is obviously a more long
but I
term.
bet you anything, watch. Like, because I was saying Washington will probably be the next state to do it just because of how many other video game studios there are.
Yeah.
I bet you anywhere in this college, if you were to turn the corner or something, there is probably Riot Games, like advertising, marketing, banners somewhere. There's something else Riot Games gets out of this. And the fact to look at that emblem and go, oh my God, they were associated with my college, would probably make you interested in buying their next game if they decide to step over League of Legends and do something else.
Yeah. And James, I'm going to agree with you. You said we have trade schools here, many of them. While that is true, most of the trade schools are for there's a lot of them, but they're all for the same thing. They're for like automotive. They're for
profit.
Yeah.
A lot of the trade schools we run, they're for profit. They don't care where your success is afterwards. These places in other countries, when you go there, half the time you don't pay anything until you're in your first job and you have a grossing salary.
Josh even went further on to say is the Swedes pay their students to go to high school.
Yes, and Sweden, Norway, that whole area is like crazy on the school. I don't know if anybody knows this. We'll branch off for like a second here. If anybody's familiar with torrenting and getting programs legally, just saying, if you do it, whatever, you are a pirate. Do what you want.
Okay, where are we going with this?
You are a pirate. All right. the Pirate Bay was originally made in that area by a guy that learned how to read as a child through a coding book.
Crazy. I did not know
That's how he learned to read. So he looked at code and then figured out how to understand English backwards using that.
That's outrageous.
And he made the server, everything on his own, and then all of his assets received by like an international FBI investigation, obviously. And it's now one of his servers is on display in a museum.
That's
because
awesome.
He was like one of the youngest people to ever do something like that.
That's amazing.
Yep, it's good stuff. It's actually it's like a documentary on like Netflix, I think. Still, if anybody wants to go check it out and learn something, that's actually really cool.
It's always good to watch.
Yes, it is.
So we talked earlier. I was playing the Stanley Parable. I haven't gotten.
I'm gonna pull that up. Actually.
I haven't gotten as far through it as I would like, but as I'm playing through it, I started noticing really quickly. I was like, man, this game feels so familiar. Like I feel like I've played this game before. Like I know it. Like what is this game about? Like what's so different here that like why does this game feel so familiar when I know I've never played it before? I did a little bit more digging into it.
Because this is what you see when you walk in to clock into work.
Well, yeah, no.
That might be where it's coming from.
But actually, so the game was originally released in 2011 as a free mod for Half-Life 2. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
The Stanley Parable, the mod was actually called the Stanley Parable. So it was by the same name.
Okay.
It was a mod for Half-Life 2. You can actually see a lot of similarities when you're watching this game, when you're playing through it. It has a Half-Life feel to it. It's got that same movement. It's got the same controls. It just feels and kind of looks like it. And it was so weird because there was no way I was going to figure it out. I couldn't think of it for the life of me. I did a little bit of digging into it and immediately was like...
I'm literally waiting for a head crab to like dip out.
That makes so much sense.
It does. I mean, it looks like the same... And okay, that makes sense if it was a mod because literally it looks like the same texture rendering and everything else too. And I'm really digging this.
So it's actually pretty crazy. So the Stanley Parable, you both play as and not as Stanley.
Parable. Or just Stanley?
Just Stanley.
Okay.
So that's what the whole game is. The whole game is built around paradoxes. So you play as this character, but then you see this character throughout the game. And your controls are very similar. So like things that make sense 1 minute as you play through won't make sense later on in the game. Supposedly, though, as you play through the game, you get to start picking out these nuances. You get to start figuring out that there is a pattern to the paradoxes. So it's not just like random where it gets, it's going to make you break your brain. It's going to like anger you. Like it will eventually like things will start to make sense. And it's not really, there's nothing coming out to kill you like in Half-Life. There's nothing that you're trying to run from. It's truly a puzzle game. It's truly creative and blows my mind every minute of it. Like I put it in, started playing around with it, and it's so easy to get invested in it. It's so easy to get sucked into it. I actually was really lucky, and I got the Indie Box Collector's Edition for the Stanley Parable, which came with the tie. So anybody who watched our last Fat Chat, we actually had Josh try and put on the tie, and he struggled really hard with it. But that's what it came from. It came with a bunch of other cool stuff, mouse pad, obviously a box that looks like a classic Windows operating system.
Like a Windows 98 like downloadable file off a floppy disk.
I would definitely recommend this game to pretty much anybody, especially if you are a fan of like Half-Life games and like standard old puzzle games. The Stanley Parable, Steam's given it fantastic ratings. It's got a 9 out of 10. PC Gamer gave it a 90%. Terrific. And the fact that it actually did stem from a mod to a bigger game. Somebody basically took it, turned it into a full game, added extra content to it, polished it up, gave us the Stanley Parable. Is really cool.
I don't know. I've been reading this quote on the video the entire time, and I can't tell if it's multiple comments or one guy ranting about how this is the most emotionalist experience he's ever dealt with. And overall, your game is on a good path, I think.
Yeah.
Good luck with it, and best regards, Raphael. That was awesome because that thing was almost like what you're explaining. Like literally just keeps taking you places. Yeah. And it has no idea. So that was actually really clever. I like that.
No, I'm really impressed by the game every minute. Plus, what it also tells me is that these games like, what is it, Earthreal or whatever, the Skyrim mod?
Oh, and Enderall or something.
Enderall, there you go.
Something like that. Josh will correct me.
Yeah, fill us in. Drop some knowledge on us for messing this up. But what it's telling me is that games like that, who are putting out these fantastic mods for games, have something more than just a mod. They could eventually become their own standalone games in their own right, which is fantastic, which is cool. So that's not like, oh, you made a mod, like, cool, you made a mod. It gets like, it's 15 seconds of fame, and then we move on and we never see
all
it
your
again.
great swords are now Marlin swordfishes. Like, that's it.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
They're all just
that's
goofy.
Great. That's
like,
a great skin mod.
All the
use that in Counter-Strike.
All the dragons in Skyrim become Thomas the Tank Engine.
Just take out a little tuna fish, stab you with it.
Exactly. So it's cool that people are people who really put time into their mods and are making something that we truly love, just using engines.
And we talk about mods a lot too on this show, just because like we talked about a lot. So like the Skyrim crossover one completely changes the game.
Yep.
Voice acting, story. Josh has even said, like, quote for quote, like, the voice acting in that game is better than what Bethesda did on actual Skyrim, which blows my mind considering it's like 30 hours worth of content in a mod.
It is Enderall, by the way. He said he's actually playing it currently. Josh is playing it as he's listening to Indie-Pendent.
Yeah, that's right.
That's good.
Live it up. The other thing that we talked about too is somebody taking StarCraft 2 and like turning that upside down into an MMO, and it's a mod. And that's really cool. So like people that are obviously getting source codes, or they find a way to do it themselves and then make these experiences that they want to play in a video game world. Sometimes they make a profit, sometimes it's just a love or a passion, but regardless, like that's a great piece to put in your portfolio.
Yep.
Like nobody can take that from you.
Yep.
So yeah, I like seeing things like this turn around and it's like, hey, Stanley Parable, this was a Half-Life mod.
Yep. Half-Life 2 mod that is now its own game that I have a collector's edition box for on the shelf. Some dude who made a mod probably thought he would never... when he made that mod, he probably thought it would never be anything else besides a mod, and now it's a whole lot more.
That's awesome.
It's fantastic. This one, The War of Mine, is the next game I want to talk about.
And I was jump right to it.
I was going to jump right to it. The last time we talked about this game, I could not for the life of me think of the name of it. So I was doing some digging this time, and I wanted to make sure I did it. Real quick, you guys, The War of Mine is a super emotional game.
Oh my god, this looks like 2D
it reminds me
Alan's Wake.
It reminds me of Alan Wake meets Limbo.
That's a good call. Yeah, I could see that.
It's basically a puzzle game. It is a war game, but you play from the perspective of the civilians.
Whoa. It almost looks like a Fallout Shelter, too, to some degree, with like the isolated rooms, how people are like diligently working on stuff.
So what it is basically during the day, you go out and you adventure in, you try and save people. You have to make a lot of decisions. You scavenge, you do stuff like that. At night, you have to come back to your base. And at night, you actually can't leave your base because the snipers of the enemy team are actually have you pinned into this building. So you can't leave the base. So basically, when you're doing that, that's when you're doing, you're building stuff up. You're using your resources to heal different people that you've saved. You're getting them to go work on this. The game is super dark. First off, obviously, it deals a lot with death. It deals a lot with war. It's actually based around a real battle that happened. So it's actually like really dark. And I hope that I know a lot of people out there. This might hit a lot of negative tones for people and stuff like that. But the reason I bring this up is because we talk about a lot about gaming being able to push the envelope and talk about things that maybe other people can't talk about.
It's a good storytelling ability.
Correct.
In a video game.
And then indie games are actually able to take that and push it a little bit further.
Right, because they give it a visual presence to it.
Correct.
It's hard to chew on after that.
Yeah, and obviously AAA developers and stuff like that, they're in the limelight a lot. Them putting out something that's super controversial could be really bad for their company if their company's controlled by, a board of people, a lot of people who control money, stuff like that. Their goal is to obviously make their company money. Indie developers, it's more of a love for themselves. They want to tell a story. They want to show something that other people can't. The War of Mine actually has a 10 out of 10 on Steam.
Holy shit.
It has a 4.6 out of 5 from Google Play and a 4.7 out of 5 from iTunes.
Wait, it's on Google Play?
It's on Google Play.
Like I can put this on my phone.
You can get this on your phone.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, totally. So absolutely fantastic reviews across the board. So everyone who does get their hands on this game loves this game. It's by a developer 11-Bit Studios. They both developed and published it. So it is a true indie game in its own right. Absolutely terrific, you guys. Touches on stuff that a lot of other people wouldn't get anywhere near. And I think they deserve a lot of attention, you guys. This War of Mine, please go check it out. Are you looking it up right now?
I'm trying to pull it up on my phone. Oh my God, it's right here. It's only $4.
Yeah. Totally worth it.
Wish list.
Yeah. So like I said, I definitely recommend you guys to at least go check it out. These people are really pushing the limits on not only what we should talk about, but what we can talk about on indie games. So I'm really impressed by them.
That's so. It's even rated M on Google
Yeah.
Play. And I will tell you right now, I put the visuals up for everybody to see. By all means, it is not a super huge graphic game.
Nope.
But I'm sure that story hit real damn hard to get that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So super impressed by them. I talked about them before, but I didn't feel like I nearly did them the justice they deserved because I couldn't think of the name. I just kind of briefly talked about it.
That's
and
good. I'm glad you came back to this because now I'm genuinely interested in this. What's it going for on Steam?
20, if I'm correct.
What?
Yeah.
That seems a little much now that I know what it goes for on Google Play.
You probably get a little bit more out of the Steam version.
You
would
might.
be my guess.
I'll have to
look. Once again, though, a 10 out of 10 on Steam is like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Anybody on the internet obviously can go in there and give it a 1 and skew the entire scoring system.
Yep. Hatred didn't get a 10 out of 10.
Nope. That's right.
I'm kidding. I'll just troll for that one. Next. All right. Do you want to just jump into Kickstarter stuff?
Kickstarter stuff. What do you got?
I got Vulture Capitalist. I think this one's yours.
This one is mine.
Talk to me about it because I don't know shit about it.
Capitalist, you guys. So you basically take place as a venture capitalist company. The game plays a lot like Pokemon, if you will. So you start off as a kid who basically just got out of school and couldn't find a job.
We were just talking about this.
Yeah.
This is great. Okay.
So he actually goes for like computer science, can't find a job when he comes out. He goes home, and your mom basically introduces you to, I think, some fairy, as weird as that is. And then you get to choose.
Hold on. So like fairy?
Like with wings.
Or like fairy?
Like with wings.
With wings. Okay.
And
so
like
the fantasy
magic
fairy.
Wand,
I got you.
And I think it's actually about to show up here. So this shows you getting out of school and you fall over because you obviously can't find a job. You go home, your mom consolidates you, and this is the fairy right here that floats down.
Floating with money signs around him.
So the fairy teaches you different ways to train your employees. What you do is you start the game by choosing from one of 3.
Ancestor, black paper, or e-pen.
Yeah, so you choose from 3 different venture capitalist companies instead of your 3 Pokemon. Then throughout the game, you actually take your venture capitalist company, you go battle against other companies.
Your black paper evolved into a holiday company?
Yeah. So, yeah, what you do is your company has different...
Entrepreneur, biz knowledge, such startup. This is great.
Your company has different ways to invest. So basically, you can go fight these other companies. As you fight them, there's different ways you can like computer hack them. You can embezzle into them. You can do different stuff like that, lowering their stock rate. Once their stock rate's low enough, you can actually go in and buy the company, which then means you obtain the company. And then now they become an extra company that gets added to your...
like tool of arson?
Exactly, yeah. Your arsenal. Or you can decide to just crush the company.
And then just be done with it?
And then they're just destroyed, and then you get like a lump sum of money for destroying them.
I like the motto, Vulture Capitalist.
Puts the FU.
Help put the FU back in funding.
Yeah.
This is great. This is awesome shit.
I'm personally super excited about this. It's got 53 backers currently with only $2,000, but they're only looking for 15,000.
That's it.
They're not looking for that much. The game looks absolutely absurd. It looks crazy. What made me the most excited about this game is actually in gaming, we deal a lot with venture capitalist companies coming in, buying out companies, and then just destroying them, ripping them apart because they have nothing to do with the gaming industry. They have no idea what the gaming industry is about. They're not there to please gamers. They're only there to make money. So to make a game called Vulture Capitalist is exactly going and showing you like what people deal with every day. Obviously, they're putting it on its head. They're making it absolutely absurd. They're making it look ridiculous. But
the
battling system go a little bit.
You go from 4 stars to 3, and it's like the YouTube thing gets hit.
So if you scroll down a little bit further, this will actually show you the battle system there. So when you go into it, your guy actually pulls out his phone.
PR stuff.
Yeah. So you
embezzle.
Yeah. So when you go to attack, which is obviously the A there, you get 4 different attacks. I think every company has different attacks. So this one has cyber attack, sue, PR stunt, embezzle. Then at the bottom is your bank account that your company currently owns.
You can settle.
Yeah.
It's the runaway. You just settle.
You just settle with them. In the next one on the far right is the offer you can make. So then you can actually make them an offer to buy their company. Obviously, the more you attack their company,
I throw them $10,000. Yeah.
So the more you pull down their company, the more you rip it apart and make it worthless, the easier it is to buy it out at a cheaper rate.
I was like, I don't know if you should be showing those addresses up here on stream.
Those addresses.
It's
fine. It'll be fine. I'm personally really excited for this game. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Pokemon. For the $2 thing, if you scroll up a little bit higher. Yeah, no, I see you loving that. Scroll up a little bit higher though. I can't go. Just go. Those 2 there. If you pledge just $2, you get those gifts.
Oh, all of them?
Yeah, you get those 2 gifts. Why not? What's in it for me? And a homeboy holding a bag of money and loving it. You scroll down a little bit higher. $55 gets you the dad hat that says Vulture Capitalist.
Such style, maniacal, money sign, much fresh.
And then it even goes further to say that there's 3 different ratings. Actually, technically 4 different ratings of companies. There's like basic, common, rare companies. And then there's the 4th one, which is unicorn companies, which basically are like these outrageous companies that are worth a ton of money, but are like super easy to obtain. But you have to be in the right place at the right time. So, they're the legendary companies. Everybody, go check out Vulture Capitalist. Game looks absolutely fucking amazing.
Add your company to the game. That's awesome.
So yeah, you can. All the different tiers are hilarious. So $10 gets you the game. You get the early access beta, the game on release. You become a community member, naming the credits, gift pack, everything like that. $15 gets you the soundtrack added on to everything else like that. $25 gets you the exclusive Kickstarter unlockable content. Oh, Zach's got control now.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. So $25 gets you a unicorn Kickstarter company, which is pretty sweet. And then as you go on, you get the hat, you get prints, you get all kinds of crazy stuff. So $100, you get to put yourself in the game. I think just yourself, though, not your company.
That's crazy.
What's the company one? Company in the game, $500 to put your company in the game. Oh, this is my other game. Cool. So we're going to do my 2 games first. I'm okay with that.
No, you're doing all of yours because I literally don't have one since Code Hardcore is still...
That was it?
That's it.
Okay.
I'm having a hard time finding something else.
These are my 2, though. So this is Xyle, a Cyberpunk zombie game. Honestly, it just pulled my attention because it looks absurd more than anything. If Vulture Capitalist wasn't absurd enough for you, this one is. So
I don't even need something to be absurd at this point.
It's a tactical RPG where turn-based combat and exploration rely on your team's chemistry as you fight the undead to reclaim your city. So you'll run through. You have different characters. You have base building, which is really cool. So you get to build up your base. I'm not exactly sure how in-depth the base building is. They show a little bit of it here, but they don't go super in-depth. They just show that it is an option. Then you're going to have to fight hordes of monsters, so you'll have different people with different classes. I think the first person you're going to see here is actually a bow wielder for the game. It is turn-based. So you obviously do have turn-based strategy, so you can only move specific squares, everything like that. Your characters will then have to fight through the zombie hordes. There's this crazy, I don't even know what he is, some sort of mech guy that's doing some weird dance over there. But then it's all based off chemistry. So the more your characters fight with each other, much like in Fire Emblem or something like that, they gain extra abilities and stuff like that they can use. So if you always have 2 people who always are going to fight next to each other, they're going to have a higher chemistry. It showed there was a chemistry of 6 and 8. That's actually going to take it and make your attacks more powerful. Then your character is also going to immortalize. So you get this book here that as you characters...
What the fuck is that thing?
I don't know. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think it's definitely one to look out for. I don't know if this game is going to blow anybody away, but it's definitely got a niche.
They need a weird amount too. They're trying to look for 37,874. Yeah, it's such a weird amount. Okay.
Yeah.
That's still really cool though. I dig
yeah,
it.
I don't know. It's just over the top. It's ridiculous. It is cool though because the guys making the game, they're actually really big into comic books and stuff like that. So actually, as we watch through this here, you're going to actually see one of the developers come up, the lead developer behind the game. He's going to talk a lot about his history in comic book writing, stuff like that. Obviously, you see on their desk a lot of nerd stuff, anime, different things like that. So he's bringing a lot of this into the game. The storytelling in the game is actually a lot like a comic, where the characters will pop up. They'll have like story bubbles above them. They'll kind of talk to each other that way. The art style in the story and stuff like that, like the cutscenes, is very comic based. This one to me shows somebody who's maybe jumping into the gaming universe, who's maybe prior to this, maybe not a huge gamer, or who maybe started off their path not going, I'm going to develop a video game. This guy was probably writing comics back in the day, having fun, obviously wearing this zombie apocalypse survival gear.
If I'm not mistaken, this guy still writes comics, actually.
I think so.
Yeah.
So this, to me, gained more interest more than anything else because of it bringing more people into gaming. We talk about that a lot. Gaming should always be very open to people. You see some of his beautiful artwork that he's done here of some of his characters and the rendering they have come from.
There's his reference photos.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. There's also some of the pledge goals actually get you, like, I think, God, super early. So the $10 pledge goal gets you digital copies of the first and second issue of Zio comic book series. So you actually can start off right off the bat by getting some of his comic books, which is what you're seeing here. $15 will get you a copy of the game plus the first 2 issues of the comic book, naming the credits, and then it kind of just goes on from there. So I don't know. I really like that a comic book artist. We've seen this before with Darksiders. That was actually a comic book artist coming over. He did the art for the Inhumans. He did the art for the Inhumans, and then he decided he wanted to make a video game and came over and made Darksiders 1 and 2. You actually see a lot of his influences in the art in that game there, which makes sense.
True story.
So this is cool, too, that we're seeing it in an indie studio as well. Somebody who maybe didn't have as much money beforehand but is writing comics, now jumping over, and he's like, I'm going to make myself a game. Definitely check it out, you guys. Zyle, a Cyberpunk zombie story. You had no others? You had no Kickstarter games for us today?
No, that's pretty much it for the most part. Let me just flip this back. Ooh, I like that. It's on my keyboard now. Very nice, very nice, very nice. No, I really don't have anything. There's still some games I want to pick up, like indie-wise, like Jolton. I was saying, like, I really want to pick that up. Destiny's around the corner, so it's going to just destroy my life for a while. It's going to make my marriage hard and difficult.
Doesn't your wife play?
I might have to find a couch to sleep on. Yeah, she plays. Just not as much as me, which I think is the problem.
That's the problem.
That usually ends up being the problem, yes.
You just got to get her sucked in is what you need to do.
I try, but then you have a newborn child. And then
someone has to take care of it.
Then you don't play as much. So.
I guess that's fair.
No, but it's been good, man. I'm just trying to find, because now I want to find a cool Kickstarter.
A sweet game like Vulture Capitalist? You're not going to find one.
It's even on like the most noteworthy list right now. Vulture Capitalist.
Yes, that's right. Because it is the most noteworthy. Because that game looks fucking amazing.
No, other than that, I'm sure there's some other good stuff. I'm surprised we didn't get to Indiegogo. I know I got here a little bit later, but we could always look up stuff later on that too.
We'll hit Indiegogo pretty hard next week, I'm sure. I try and always bounce back and forth so we don't. So we kind of share the love, because last week I didn't even see Vulture Capitalist, which is nice. So I try and check out the Kickstarters and Indiegogos throughout the week as well to try and catch some of those big games. Not always that I bring them here to Independent, because the ones I bring here are the ones that are truly special and are truly doing something a little bit different. But those gems that we find are totally worth it.
Are amazing. Here's the other thing too that I'm going to do moving forward, because we talked about it. I will take all these links, because people have been bugging me and actually messaging me about it. I will supply the links down at the bottom on YouTube. So you have to wait till Wednesday when these things go up. You can double check it back then, and they will all be listed there in the description. So you can check out all the Kickstarter pages we pulled up. You can take a look at some of the Steam places that we went to, anything like that. If the article has a cool link for you to experience, I will put it up. If it's just like the one we read, it's just an article, you can Google search it. So
I definitely recommend when it comes to the Kickstarters and stuff like that, please go look at them. Check out the different goals that they offer. A lot of these times you can pick up these people's games for $10, $15, at the most normally $20. Their games almost never go for more than $20 off Kickstarter. You can obviously pledge more if you're really truly invested in them. I think I'm probably going to pledge a pretty high goal for venture capitalists.
I'm going to pledge a good amount to
because that game looks
Code
really
Hardcore.
Cool. Yeah.
So,
but a lot of these games you can pick up for a very small amount, like I said, $5, $10, $15, which is really cool. So it gives you a great entrance into indie games without having to spend too much money. You'll get them right when they come out. A lot of them you also get early access for. Plus, more than anything, even if you can't support the game, share it. If it looks interesting to you and you think your buddies might like it, share it to your Facebook. Just let them know, hey, this is a really cool indie game that I saw. They talked about it on Indie-Pendent. Or honestly, don't even just talk about it, you guys. That's what we're here for. That's what we want to do. Is
make some waves.
Make some waves.
Make some waves.
That's all we want.
Make the waves.
Make the waves. But you guys, make sure you follow us here. This is every Sunday. We do our independent podcast. Every Monday, we do Fat Chat, which is our other podcast, our other weekly show.
Tell them the times, Brandon. Tell them the times.
Well, I already said 8.
No, you didn't.
No. Okay. Well, Indie-Pendent happens at 8 every Sunday.
And Monday?
Monday, it's 10 p.m. And this is all currently Pacific time. Really, though, it's Arizona time because we don't do daylight savings because that's for you monsters.
Because all we have is daylight.
It's true.
There's no saving it for us.
If anything, we're trying to get rid of daylight.
That is it.
Yeah.
That's all there is.
And then on top of both of those, you guys, we also do our Thursday night, which is our tabletop streams, which we just play fun, really tabletop games. Last week we played Magic the Gathering. The week before that we played Make Me a God, which was a sweet Kickstarter game out there.
Jason, I love you. That game you introduced to me is
and
everything.
If we're not doing a big group thing like one of our podcasts, our tabletop game, we have streams going on almost every day of the week. So if you follow us right here, you don't have to go to different channels. You don't have to find different people. You don't have to do anything like that. You follow right here, and you get entertainment throughout the entire week.
From everybody.
Throughout the whole week, which is fun. Also, if you really want to learn a little bit more about these things, you want to make sure you stay up to date, go click on either mine, Zach's, or Fat Island's Twitters. If you click on either of our faces right below, it'll take you straight to our Twitters. If you follow us, you can go to our friends and follow Fat Island there. That'll also keep you up to date on everything indie, independent, and really just gaming that you need to know about.
Pretty much. Also, too, we will be having a slew, hopefully, of different video content coming in the next few weeks.
Yeah, we should have
some. We've been waiting for game releases. This is the slowest time right before the holiday season.
This gives us time to fine-tune, perfect, get our studio back in order, get everybody where we need to be.
Yep. So expect a lot of unboxings, a lot of highlight reels, a lot of us talking about games that are actually coming out that we'll be getting our hands on day one. So we're sorry about I guess we're not sorry, but I mean, it's been a little slow, but we keep the talk shows going.
There's a lot of content stuff coming out between streams every day, talk shows twice a week. I mean, there's still a lot. There's a lot, but there's going to be more.
There's going to be a lot more.
There's going to be a lot more, you guys. So thank you so much. Right after us, happening right here on the same page.
Oh, is he doing it?
He is.
Ooh.
Josh is going to be streaming, you guys. I believe he is going to be actually streaming the Skyrim mod Enderroll, which we just talked about earlier in the show. So if you like Skyrim, if you like mods, and you like indie games, you should stick around because Josh, honestly, he does the best streams that we have.
He does. He comes up with a lot of quippy comments. I usually just get super pumped. I don't know if you watched the 20 minutes of For Honor, but yeah, I was shouting, and I was like, that's what you do. You put your axe out. Put that shit out there. I was like, it's whatever.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. We will catch you next week for Indie-Pendent. I will see you tomorrow for Fat Chat, and make sure you hang out and chill with Josh, you guys. Have a great one. Later.
Bye.